Hello my gamers, it's Alex, and welcome back to another DIY. So today I wanted to do something kind of summery, but it doesn't necessarily have to be done in summer, but it's getting close to summer, so I figured, who doesn't like popsicles in the summer on a cold day? And if you don't like popsicles, and that was a rhetorical question, so watch anyways. But today I decided to make popsicles with a twist for summer. So these are basically going to be like Kabob popsicles, but of course they are DIY, so I'll show you guys how to make them. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the supplies. So, actually, I used to have one of the popsicle molds where you can make the actual popsicles and then have the popsicles because they're delicious, but I completely lost that, so I have no idea where it is. So I figured, why not make better popsicles? So for your popsicle kebab, I know it's a crazy idea, but popsicle kebab, for each little popsicle area, for the mold, I'm going to be freezing them in these little containers. They're just kind of small cubes. But whatever shape you want your popsicle to be, just get a mold that is that shape and let it freeze in there. And of course, since they are popsicle kebabs, I have my kebab skewers. And by the way, I got these just at Walmart, but you can also buy them at pretty much any general store. I've also seen them at H-E-B. And these kebab skewers were bought at Walmart. They are GTC brand. And now, of course, you can make your popsicle out of regular water, but if you want it to be more exciting, then you can freeze pretty much anything. So you can freeze any soda. I've tried Sprite, Coke, and Fanta before, and they all turned out incredible. But today we are mixing things up. So here I have a bottle of lemonade that I'm actually going to use, and this lemonade, some lemonade won't freeze properly because if it's made out of like pure lemon juice and just a little bit of water, then it might just be a bunch of residue and leftover stuff will be left behind, especially if it has pulp in it. That will just kind of be left in your popsicle, and the last thing you want is to be biting into a juicy popsicle and then find a bunch of pulp. So, let me show you the solution. Okay, so this is just a bottle of Nestle Pure Life from Walmart. So this is completely water-based, and then this is basically like Crystal Light, but it's an H-E-B generic brand. So it's just flavor that you add into your water, and it's just a small packet like that. And this is lemonade flavor. So you just add it to your water, and then you mix it up, and then it just like lemonade. So I did that just to make sure that it would freeze properly so that I didn't use regular lemonade. And I'm going to be showing you how to make one other type of popsicle today, and that is a candy pop, but it's on a kebab. So I call them candy pop kebabs. I know, crazy name. This video gets crazier every time I go in. And you thought it was just making popsicles. So you can use just about any candy that will fit among your popsicle. Some good candies are Nerds, Gobstoppers, except Gobstoppers are a good shape and size is what I'm saying, but they're jawbreakers, so, you know, if you're biting into your popsicle, then you might not want one of those to be in there, but if you just want to have it as a nice little treat twist, then that's great. I've seen gummy bear popsicles made before, but today, because I've been on a bit of a candy spree, so I ate all the candy around my house, I found this pack of Pez. So I'm going to be using that, and the candy does not have to be anything specific. It just has to be able to fit among your container with a few that are just frozen somewhere in that popsicle. So basically, if you're just using water, then you would just fill this canister and pop the candy inside. But you can also do that with any other thing. And if they're floating, do not worry. You don't need to push them to the bottom or anything. It's good if you can get candy that will float around. And you can also have a mixture of candy because then you have more spread out. Okay, so for step 1, now that we have all of our supplies, is we're going to take one of our containers and start out. So what I'm going to do is take my lemonade, and there's no certain quantity that you need. You just need to fill the container. And by the way, guys, I'm sorry if you see the glare from that light. I tried my best to block it out with my head here, but I can't block it forever. So I'm just going to take my lemonade and hold it carefully over the sink. And I'm going to pour a bit into here, and it has a bit of a disturbing look. Really disturbing, actually, but it's lemonade. Okay, now, I don't want too much lemonade to be in this container, and I actually have a pretty good idea of where I want to put it, because right here with this rim, that's about where I want to stop, maybe a little below that, because sometimes when they freeze, it gets a bit of an awkward shape, so you might want to keep it a bit better contained. So now I have a cube full of lemonade, and I can do 2 things, or actually 3 things. So I can either set it in the freezer like this and wait for it to chill, which is probably the fastest way to get it to freeze. Or I can put this lid on top, which is a bit safer, and it will freeze a bit slower, and it might not freeze as well just because it will take a bit of time to get that cold air in there. Or if I want just something for safety, I can set a paper towel or saran wrap or something around it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some saran wrap, but in this case it's called Cling Wrap, and it is by Lad. So I'm just going to get a little bit off right here. Saran wrap. Okay, so I have a little bundle of saran wrap. I just want to spread it out because it does tend to stick together. And I'm just going to carefully place it over my popsicle creator. And I'm going to tape a little bit of Scotch tape and just tape some of the sides down. You want to tape it pretty loosely so that you're not blocking anything, but you just want to make sure that saran wrap is fairly sturdy. Now, if you want to make sure that you get a good flow of cold air going, one thing you can do is take a pencil and just poke some holes in the top of the saran wrap. Now, this makes it a bit more spill vulnerable, but at least it's better than just having it wide open. Now, after a little while, you might want to check on your popsicle, just because sometimes you'll have some water that just evaporates into the air as a frigid form. So every once in a while, you might want to add just a little bit more lemonade, and just in case here, I'm going to add a teensy bit more into my container here. And now I'm going to tape it shut again. Okay, so that is container 1 sturdy. And if you do actually want even more protection than this, then over the saran wrap, you can put this lid on, because the lid isn't 100% spill proof, so the saran wrap will help a little bit. But I'm going to leave it slightly open like this just to make sure that it works properly. And now I'm going to set it in my freezer, and unfortunately, guys, as of now, I do not have a working video editor, so I can't show you guys the end result. But I promise in my next DIY, I will show you guys exactly how these turned out. Okay, but before I put this in the freezer, I can just have it like that, and then I can pry it out, and I can eat it as like an ice cube. But because this is our kebab, I'm going to take a kebab skewer. Now, you could put multiple of these on one skewer, but I'm just going to take my trusty scissors and cut a small portion off. And I'm cutting it about the halfway mark, but I can't say for sure. Pull off a bit of the excess. Okay, so this is my new shape of the kebab skewer. And you can either choose to put the pointed end in or the flat end in. It's completely your choice. And now I'm going to poke a hole with my pencil in about the center of my saran wrap. And I'm just going to put my kebab skewer in there. Now you might want to apply some tape just to hold that kebab skewer sturdy, because until that lemonade is dry, the kebab skewer is going to move around because obviously it's a liquid. But once it is dry, you can remove that tape and the kebab skewer will be perfectly in place. So right now it kind of looks like a really messed up tower, but it's all freezer ready now and it should work. So I'm going to put it into the freezer and I'll see you guys in 1 second. And just for some more drip proof, if you want to add a paper towel, then that is a wonderful idea. And before I go, just one more tip. If you have a sliding freezer at the bottom or top of your fridge like I do, and the kebab skewer is not allowing it to shut, then just trim it down. But anyways, unfortunately I'm going to have to break this DIY up into some parts because I do not have enough time for today to finish it. So I will see you guys next time. Leave a like and comment if you enjoyed, and as always, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time.